going to wait for you to get on here, and I am going to get my computer ready. My number one fan. Thank you, Christopher. Welcome, everyone. I'm really excited about tonight's topic, which is saving money and splurging on your wedding. Hi, everybody. It's great to see you all. So if you want, hey, Lindsay, you can introduce yourself in the comments, or if you want to tell me you're just here because you like weddings, tell me in the comments, or put your wedding date in the comments. That'd be awesome. That was a lot of things to do. Just tell me who you are. You want to say hi? Your beard looks crazy. He just ate. I don't know if you can see how wet his beard is. Hi. Say hi. And I mean, some of you all might just be coming here to see my new hair. You know, I know some people just they're like, Megan, put more pics up. I got that message. They're like, put pictures of yourself. And I was like, I don't know. Thank you, Christopher. Oh, thanks, Lindsay. Say hi. Say hi. So I'm obsessed with Tucker, for those who don't know. Oh, and here comes the big dog that Christopher's going to have to come get him out now. I'm going to show you all Star. I haven't showed her yet. This is Star. She is our lab mix that Christopher rescued from the pound, and she's real cute. If you know me, I did not grow up with dogs, so Star has been an adjustment because she's so big and she can reach things. And Tucker is 9 pounds. That's what I'm used to. I'm a photographer in Jacksonville, but love to travel. Yay! Hello! Hey, Coleman. Hey, everybody. It looks like I'm doing this Instagram live with multiple dogs. I meant to put up the gate in my room. Also, one of the guesses on my Instagram stories, I put, guess what's going to be different about me on Wednesday? And somebody put, you're getting your lighting fixed and you're going to get the wall fixed. No, but I did move locations here, and I now have proper lighting where you can see me, and there's no two-tone wall. Yay! But the downside is the dogs can get in, so we're just going to be doing this with 2 dogs, unless Christopher call for help. Okay. So, we have a lot of people on here already, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Tonight's topic is about wedding budgets, and we're talking about how to save on your wedding and when to splurge. So, I want to start off by asking you all, here to see the hair and the pups and your face. Say hi, Aunt Rebecca. Respect for wings on. Rebecca said, hi, Coleman. Aw, you guys, the hair and the pups in the face. This is what they are. My friends, true friends. Thank you all. Yeah, Tucker, I usually wipe his beard. He eats his food wet now. Ugh, not cool. Okay, I'm giving you a play-by-play of all the dogs. Tucker, or Star just left. Tucker's going to sit with me, I think. Can you all see him? No. Okay. So we're talking about, I'm back on topic now for at least a half a second, right? So I also saw somebody up there. Hey, I saw somebody's wedding date. Let's scroll. Let's see. August 30th. Can you tell me your first name, please? I'm sorry I can't see the picture. August 30th. Congratulations. Is anybody else in here getting married? Tell me your wedding date. Okay, so I wanted to start with, for those of you who are already married, hey Claire, August 10th. Oh, we've got so many. And Jessica, yes, hey. So August. I'm just thinking, I hope it's not super warm. Are you all doing inside or outside for your wedding, the August weddings? Christopher, I think I may have to have you come get the dogs. has his phone, he'll take a picture of what's actually happening right now so you all can see all the behind the scenes of how up in my space the dogs are. Tucker, why don't you go? Go. I don't think he's going to go. Sorry, babe. Thank you. Okay. I can pay attention now. So if you've gotten married, okay, we've got outside ceremony, inside reception, outside at a state park. Okay, so I wanted to give some tips. This is not in my stuff, so I'm just going to give you some tips right now. Some tips for staying cool. The biggest thing is you want to make sure to have an indoor air-conditioned space. If at all, Christopher is now bribing Tucker to go away. You want to make sure you can have an air-conditioned indoor space if at all possible. I know some places like a state park, you might not have one, but the reason I say this is if you have, say, a pregnant woman or some elderly people coming to your wedding, you might want to have a space where they can go so they don't overheat, or people with medical issues that can't get too hot. Just kind of consider them when you're thinking about this outdoor space. Just throwing that out there. The second piece is I highly recommend having, this is kind of a no-brainer that a lot of people will probably already know, but you absolutely have to have water available. And that literally could be in some just like Coleman coolers, just some coolers with ice and water. And if you want to make it cute, definitely make it cute. Put it like in the buckets, but you definitely want to have cold water bottles for your guests if you're doing an outdoor ceremony. That is something that is a must, okay? So make sure you have cold water bottles. All the weddings I've ever done outside, I've had my couples do the cold water bottles, and it's been a big hit. And a wedding that I officiated last September, if they hadn't had cold water bottles, like I was just in a short sleeve dress and I was overheating bad. I had to keep going over to the side and like pulling up my dress and trying to get some air, and there were men in full suits, so it was bad. It was hot. Jessica said, I did my fitting the other day in my dress, had the dress on for 20 minutes, and those thighs were sweating. Yes, those dresses can get really, really hot. So don't feel bad if you want to get one of those little handheld fans so you can just shoot it up your dress, shoot it on your face, and don't squirt the water, the water fans. Don't squirt the water because you'll mess up your makeup, but you definitely use that fan. So if you're an outdoor bride, maybe invest in those little fans. Christopher recently brought me home one because I'm having a hard time adapting to the Jacksonville weather. Love his heart. I've used it so many times, and sometimes he uses it on me in the car. If I start to overheat, he can tell before I can really tell, so it's really helpful. Thick thighs save lives. Yes. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite sayings about your thighs touching is that your thighs are so sexy they can't stay off of each other. That's my favorite thing. I said it to Christopher the other day. Claire says, we have giant fans and covered area. We also have already stocking on water bottles. Great. Okay, great. That's the huge thing. Giant fans is another thing. You can rent the really nice fans. Like there's like these magic fans that have some type of water cooling system in the back of them. So they're like pretty much portable air conditioners. They're really cool. So if you're doing an outdoor wedding, that's another tip for you. I just really always want to make sure that people don't get too hot at weddings. I've spoken briefly about it, but with the autoimmune disease I have, it makes overheating a problem. And that's part of why we've taken the heat so seriously now that I've moved to Florida, because I can overheat really fast and my body doesn't regulate it like someone's body who's working properly would be able to regulate the heat. So yeah, I just always think about those people who maybe can't regulate the heat like a normal body can. Thank goodness our ceremony is going to be short and sweet, 10 minutes, then party. I'm worried about getting high, especially with my low sugar. Okay, yeah, so just make sure cold Gatorade or whatever you use to keep your sugar like at its normal. If a quick Gatorade, if it's a quick soft drink, whatever, make sure you have that on hand. And there's always right here where your blood, I think I might have a nurse on here. She could probably do it better than me. But where your blood pumps through, if you hold a cold water bottle right here in the bend of your arm, on the back of your neck, or underneath the bend of your leg, that's where a lot of the blood's flowing, and that'll cool you off really fast. I'm worried I'll forget to eat too with all the craziness of the day. Put a bridesmaid that you trust on that. Whoever you love the most that you're not marrying, put that person in charge of making sure that you eat on wedding day, because it is important to eat, even though you won't be really hungry. I love to eat, but and we had Chick-fil-A and everything great for breakfast and lunch on my wedding day, but they had one of my best friends bringing food over to me because my mom knew. She was like, you need to eat. I'd be like, I'm fine, because I get hangry. But they were sliding, bringing little plates, why don't you take a bite? Why do you take a bite? So that's important. Eat. Okay, so are we ready to get into it? What I was going to ask earlier is if you have been married and you would like to share a tip on a way that you saved money, or something that you feel like you spent too much on. Hi, Mama. I just talked about you. So if you've been married and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I would not have spent money on this, feel free to tell us in the comments, because another great thing about this community is we can all help each other and learn together and hopefully not make the same mistakes, right? And again, another thing about weddings in general is we're all going to value different things. So something that I think is really important, maybe you're like, no, it's not that important. So help a sister out. Yes, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Where to splurge and where to save on your wedding budget. So first we're going to talk about the splurge areas. I'm over budget. Okay, well, we are hopefully going to help you tonight, Jessica. And as always, y'all, feel free to share this or tag your friends if you feel like in the post, if you feel like this can help them. Okay, so the splurge areas. I want to start with the splurge areas because actually some areas that I'm discussing that you can splurge on, I'm going to come back and tell you ways to also save money in that same area. So I want to start with splurging, if that makes sense. Okay, welcome everybody. So, why splurge? First, I want to say, why splurge? Because, if you're a type penny pincher, you might be thinking, well, splurging isn't an option, so just don't, right? But why splurge? Here are some reasons. Maybe you need to splurge so that you can have better captured memories. Or maybe you want to have that dream wedding that you've always wanted, and splurging and spending the extra money is worth it to you. Because I think with all budgets, someone once told me this when I first got into the industry. Brides would come to me and they would say, well, I'm on a budget. And I was like, okay, I respect that. And it was an older kind of calloused wedding vendor who told me this, and they said, everybody's on a budget, Megan. They said, millionaires are on budgets. Their budgets are bigger than ours, but they have budgets too. Everybody has a budget. Maybe their budget's unlimited. Like some people, maybe their wedding is unlimited budget. You can spend however much you want, but everybody has a budget. And I just thought that was really funny to me. I don't know why I wanted to share that with you just now, but everybody has a budget. That's kind of what I think about when we talk about splurging and saving, is everybody has a budget, no matter if it's limitless or if it's really limited. Everybody has a budget, okay? Does that make sense? Also, feel free to comment or do emojis throughout this whole thing. If you have questions about anything I say, you can comment throughout, even once I start talking. No problem. So, another reason you might want to splurge is to make the wedding easier for you, okay? We're going to talk about how to do that right now. So how you can better capture your memories, how you can have the dream wedding that you've always wanted, and how you can make your wedding easier for you. Those are 3 ways that I'm going to tell you today that you might want to splurge on your wedding, okay? So here we go. First, a photographer. I highly recommend, if you want a splurge area, and one of my friends who's a photographer, Tanya, just hopped on, so she's gonna like this one. If you want to splurge, I highly recommend putting your money into photography. And here's why. I decided for our wedding, this go round, I decided that I wanted to splurge on a seasoned photographer. Seasoned meaning they've been around a while, they know their style, they know their way around a wedding, they've done this a lot, okay? So here's what I tell my clients all the time, and it might sound a little bad, but here it is. Memories fade, but pictures last forever. In the digital age, you can have these photos forever, okay? It's not like you have one copy of your wedding photo like maybe our grandparents did back in the day, okay? You don't just have one physical copy. We now have digital copies. I'm sure people save it in the cloud, and I'm sure there's lots of other technological things that people save their wedding photos in that I don't even know about. But again, memories fade, but pictures last forever. This gives me chills and makes me get a little emotional because I have this hope now that one day, if I'm lucky enough, I can have kids, and then they can have kids, and then my grandkids will look at my wedding photos. Like, I think that's really cool. I know looking at photos of my mama when she was young was something that I loved to do. And I'm crying now, y'all. Partly because of my mama, and partly because, well, it's just something sweet that I'm like, oh my gosh, I might have grandkids one day. I might get to be someone's real grandma. If you know me, people call me grandma already, and I'm just turned 30. That's what's changed with me since you've seen me last. Oh wait, and my hair. But anyway, okay. I had to be silly to stop crying. I remember just loving looking at my mama's pictures from when she was young, right? So I think it is such a neat thing that we can invest in, to invest in nice quality photos that will last forever, okay? And I feel that for family photos too. So if you have a family, or even if you're by yourself, I highly encourage you to take family photos with the people that you love, because, life is fleeting, and having those photos is something that I always cherish. So I recommend splurging on a seasoned photographer who will be there to capture the special moments of wedding day. And here's the thing. I love helping new wedding vendors. Love it. And there is a place for it. And, new wedding photographers have to get... Thank you so much, Ashley! New wedding photographers have to get their feet wet somewhere, right? But for me, I highly recommend choosing a seasoned photographer if you want to splurge, just because that photographer knows what moments to capture on your wedding day and where to be on wedding day, because you can't be everywhere on wedding day, but there are certain moments that you want captured. And again, a seasoned wedding photographer will provide you with photos that will be timeless, and there will be a keepsake that you can pass down to your grandchildren. And I'm actually going to say this right now because I don't have it written down, so I'll forget. But one of the things that so if you don't know my story, you can go back and read somewhere. But I was a widow, and I'm newly married and very happy. I have an awesome husband named Christopher. So this was my second wedding. So what I learned, I had it right beside me, but I'm not going to pull it out right now. Christopher said, woot woot. So this is what I learned. I'm going to show you. This is one of my favorite wedding photos from my first wedding. Okay, these are my girlfriends, all my bridesmaids. I cheered in high school, so this is a C because that used to be my last name. So we made a C with our flowers, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool. And I framed that one because I love it. But then we took all the crazy ones, all the Pinterest random poses, and we were so obsessed with the random poses that we didn't get a lot of content that we actually were going to print and hang in a classy way on our wall. And granted, we were young. He was 23, I was 24, so we were young. But now, getting married, when Christopher and I were almost 30, we have I'm going to cry again. We have so many photos now that, Tanya, I will want some more explanation of your UGG. We have so many photos that I would be so proud to hang on our wall, because we took more kind of portrait style, and they weren't like real stuffy, like, not like, real stuffy or anything. They were candid, but they weren't like being just silly all the time. And there were some that I took that were sentimental, with like certain poses that meant something. And Christopher took a pose with his sister. They have one from her graduation, her wedding, and from our wedding. And like, so there are sentimental poses. But we just had maybe 3 out of all our photos. Not 30 and not 300. So that's something I want to also encourage you if you're getting married. Pinterest. Tanya said Pinterest weirdness I hate. Pinterest has a tendency to make things look maybe really normalized. And I think this is also a huge reason that so many people maybe feel depressed or feel like they're not good enough, is because they're kind of comparing themselves to Pinterest. But in real life, Pinterest isn't real life, which we kind of know. But, okay, I went on that little tangent to say, really think about it. You might not want to spend 20, 30, an hour of your wedding, getting ready for your wedding, like taking really silly photos that in the end, in like 5 years, you're going to be like, I don't want to hang that anywhere, and I don't want my grandkids to see that photo. So I just wanted to kind of throw that wisdom out there, and you can do with it what you want, because if you're a really quirky person, and I'm a really quirky person, but I'm glad I have more of the kind of sophisticated photos now that we can hang in our house and that we'll use. Just throwing that out. Just throwing that out. And Tanya, who is a seasoned photographer, agrees with me. Because when you follow trends for your wedding, it can just, in a few years, you can just be like, why did I do that? And that's kind of with anything, right? Like, sometimes we look back at old pictures, and I might look back at this hair, but I think it's awesome, so probably not going to do that. But we kind of look back at pictures of ourselves, and we're like, why did we do that? But just throwing that out there. Okay, so I am on... Tanya said, yes, like when people jump in a field, I want to ask, why are they jumping? Do you always jump when your feet touch a field? And another thing, we did our first look at, Christopher and I did our first look, and then we did all of the pictures with me and my bridesmaids. And then Christopher came out, and his groomsmen came out, and then the skies just opened up and poured. I wasn't paying attention probably, but I didn't even realize, like, it wasn't like the wind started and then it just came out of nowhere, and everybody got rained on it. So, in some capacity, we got soaked. And so we didn't have time to do all the photos we wanted. So you just want to really use the time you have to take the photos. And so I'm glad we weren't trying to like get silly photos in, because if we had only gotten silly photos and before the rain and didn't get serious ones, I would have been really sad. Okay, so we're talking about splurge areas. Number 1 was welcome to all our new people. Welcome. Sarah and Dakota and Kay Taylor. Hi, welcome. Okay, so photographer is number 1. Number 2, a splurge area that I encourage is flowers. If you're having a traditional wedding, some form of florals will be, okay, this is why. I think you should splurge on flowers. Personally, I love flowers. I've said this recently. I didn't appreciate flowers as much until I was in the wedding industry. So I don't know if normal people like flowers too, but I really appreciate flowers now. And so if you're having a traditional wedding, some form of flowers are going to be in every single photo. Okay, just take that in. Just take that in. In every single one of your photos, there's going to be a form of florals. And I actually encourage you to tell me in the comments somewhere where there will be no florals. I actually don't want you to go against me, but yeah, no, really, tell me. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. So the bride holds her bouquet in all the wedding party photos. And then in couples photos, the bride holds the bouquet. In family photos, the bride holds the bouquet. The groom and the groomsmen will be wearing boutonnieres. The family members wear boutonnieres and corsages. So grandmas, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, they're going to have corsages on, okay? So there's more florals. And often florals are the decorations for the ceremony and reception. So say you're just taking ceremony or reception pics. Thank you so much. So say you're just getting ceremony or reception pictures. Well, there's florals in that too, or florals by your cake. The only thing is maybe when you're on the dance floor, there's not going to be any florals unless the groomsmen still have their boutonnieres on, in which case there will be florals. So what I'm trying to say is flowers in some capacity will be in almost all of your photos. So choosing a great florist who knows how to create aesthetically pleasing arrangements is key. So again, I'm going to say that one more time. Choosing a good florist who knows how to create aesthetically pleasing florals is key. That's a big deal. And here's the thing. I can think of, oh my gosh, I have all these florists in my mind right now. And what's cool about different florists is just like different photographers have different styles of photography, florists have different styles too. There is one florist, she loves rock music and she's quirky and she's awesome. And I just love to look at her work because my mind could never create what she creates. She loves things to be uneven. And whenever we worked weddings together in Tennessee, I would always be like, I love your work, but it's uneven. And she would just laugh. Because we just had different visions, but her stuff is stunning. And then there's other florists who are more conservative, and there's other florists. I mean, the list goes on, okay? So just like photographers have their different styles, florists also have their different styles, and so that's an important thing to know when you're picking a florist. Because if you want a really tight bouquet and to be really formal, you don't want to pick a hippy-dippy florist because that's not really her style. You want to pick a florist that your styles line up together. Okay, and number 3 on what to splurge on, I said hire a wedding planner. And before this, I've said this when I was still a wedding planner, I would say this all the time. But now I'm like, I can say this unbiasedly because I'm no longer a wedding planner. If you hire a good wedding planner, they will know what corners to cut and what is crucial on wedding day. I would always tell my couples, if you hire me, I will probably, even though here is how much I cost. If you hire me, I will save you almost that much money, hands down. Because I knew that I would help how I helped couples save money. And I knew that I would help. So that was my thing. As I was I can really help you save as much as I am worth. So it's I cancel out my fee. And not all planners are going to say that. And maybe not all planners are going to do that. But if you hire a wedding planner, they are going to help you know what corners to cut, what corners not to cut. And they're going to know what's crucial for wedding day. A planner also keeps your day running smoothly and allows your friends and family to celebrate instead of folding napkins and setting up chairs and doing all that stuff. You want your family to enjoy the day with you instead of being busy setting everything up. So, I cannot emphasize the importance of a planner enough. And a planner will also work with here's another reason to hire a planner. Let me tell you this. Another reason to hire a planner is so say your photographer sits down to eat, okay? Because y'all, you need to let your vendors eat. They are human too, and they need food. And most vendors have in their contract that they get a break, okay? So, because remember, they're working for 6 or 8 hours, so they need a break of some sort. So, I heard of this happen one time, and this was a planner fail. I don't know if I read this somewhere. I don't remember. So I don't know who did this, but there was a wedding, and the planner or someone decided it was time to cut the cake, okay? No, there was not a planner at this wedding. That's the whole point of the story. Sorry. So, somebody decided it was time. The DJ decided it was time to cut the cake. And so the couple went to cut the cake. Well, they were like cutting, and then they're like, look around, and there's no photographer. The photographer was in the bathroom. Nobody thought to check, is the photographer here? Before the couple cut the cake. They just cut the cake. And if you had a wedding planner, part of the planner's job is to coordinate with the other vendors. And if you had a planner, I really think, because one time this almost happened to me once at a wedding. I was like, okay, you ready to cut the cake? And I was going, and I was like, okay, just wait for me to come back. And the couple was getting anxious. They were about to cut the cake. And I went and I found the videographer, and I got him set for cutting the cake. And then the couple was about to go, and I was like, wait, where's the photographer? And found the photographer. So I had him wait to cut the cake because the photographer wasn't there. And so, again, that's why a planner is important. Because the planner should worry about all those little details of your wedding day. All you should be doing is like worrying about how much cake you can eat and not throw up on the dance floor. You know what I mean? Just kidding. Or am I? So, as I mentioned before, here are a few more tips. And it's just actually condensing everything. I'm just saying it one more time. Recommend splurging on a seasoned photographer who can capture the special moments and work under the pressure and timelines, okay? Timelines, crowds, and pressure can crush new photographers. So, seasoned photographer. Hey, Wendy. Yes, the cake at our wedding was amazing. Also, hire experienced wedding professionals. That is an important thing. Experience matters, and you want the vendors to get along well with other vendors. And here's the thing, in wedding communities, they've usually all worked together at some point, or your caterers worked with the photographer, so they know each other. Well, then your videographers worked with the caterer, so they know each other. So everybody kind of knows each other in the wedding community, and so it's easier to work together because you know their styles and kind of how they function. So hiring seasoned wedding vendors means that they have personal relationships with other vendors and will likely work better with them to provide you a greater service in the end. So I would suggest splurging a little bit on your wedding vendors because they're going to provide you a better service in the end. Here's one more tip. So now we are going to actually get to the saving part. So this tip is saving, so I've got to wait just a second. I was jumping ahead of myself there. Okay, so save your money. So now we're talking about saving. Spending, now why would we save money on weddings? Like maybe you're one of those people who doesn't have a wedding budget. So you're like, why would I save on my wedding? It's my wedding. Well, here's why. I would say to save your money because spending on these things may not add that much value to your wedding, and your guests might not even notice that you skipped or splurged here. This is why I'm just really like, save on your wedding, because your guests are not going to notice that you even skipped or splurged in these areas. And again, another reason to save is because these things may not add that much value to your wedding. So we're talking here about value in your wedding, and that it's okay to skip and splurge on some things, even if you have an unlimited budget. Here's one of my big things. Rent decor. I recommend renting decor. And a lot of times you might be like, why would I not buy it? Why would I rent? Here's why I say to rent decor. some brides get so wedding giddy that they buy out Hobby Lobby's entire wedding stock. Okay, have you seen those brides? They get so wedding giddy, they buy out Hobby Lobby's like entire wedding decor section. And if you're planning your wedding, you're intimately familiar with Hobby Lobby's wedding decor section. Thank you so much. And then this is what I see I'm on a lot of like bride or wedding Facebook pages. So after the wedding, these brides are frantically trying to sell all the decor that they bought and then didn't use, because it's always like, didn't use this, just used once. Well, yeah, because you got married, that was once. But anyway, so what I see, and I've had a lot of my personal brides when I was a coordinator be like, well, I bought all this stuff, and they bring me boxes of stuff. They're like, bought all this stuff. If you can use it, use it. If you can't, you can't. And I'm like, so, you're trying to like put little things out everywhere, and it's cute. You definitely want decor to like spruce things up, but if you're buying out Hobby Lobby's entire wedding decor section, you're probably going to be trying to sell it all in the end. I just say avoid the hassle and rent the decor. Or if you don't want to rent the decor, my big tip that I tell my couples is I'm going to show you one of mine. Do you like that I had props ready for this one? Buy wedding items that you'll use again. So this is a sign that we bought. I already had this at my house actually, but I would have bought one of these for our wedding if we hadn't had it. So it says, and they lived happily ever after. I don't know if that's backwards to you all. I'm not sure. So we use this felt sign. It's where the little letters you can pull off. And I haven't changed it because we're still newlyweds, and I want to leave it like this because we're going to live happily ever after forever. Right, Christopher? Yeah. But you can change that seasonally. So what's cool is I bought that decor piece, and we used it at our wedding. It fit in perfectly, but backwards, but it's okay. But I'm going to hang it. We've already used it in our house and in my house in Tennessee. So it's a great decor piece. There's also several other things that we have hanging up in our house here that we used at the wedding. So I just highly recommend that you get items. If you're going to buy decor, make sure it has a dual purpose. Make sure that you can still use it in your home after your wedding as well. And then it also makes it really special because you're like, oh my gosh, that was at our wedding. Like we have a canvas obviously hanging up that we used at our wedding. We have like a big P for Potter. My last name is now Potter, like Harry Potter. So yeah, pretty much I married Harry Potter, the rocket scientist Navy pilot. One of my friend's husbands was like, Megan's new husband can't be a pilot and a rocket scientist. And I was like, no, he is. So anyway, I'm really proud of that. I think the fact that my husband's a rocket scientist is probably one of the coolest facts about me. Yeah, I take it like a personal, I don't know, like I'm cool because Christopher's a rocket scientist. So there's that. And he flies planes. So he flew, I don't know, I can't probably tell you where he flew today, but he flew to lots of different states today, and then he flew back to me, and that's crazy. I was just here eating Chick-fil-A and working on Instagram Live, and he was flying to different states. I don't know if your all spouses have crazy weird jobs, but it just blows my mind. 1,000 miles into the North Atlantic is where Christopher flew today. I'm not going to tell you what he does, though. It's a secret. Don't tell Christopher it's a secret. I think everything about his job's top secret. I don't actually know. Okay. So here are some ways that, again, you can save your money, because I think a lot of people won't notice if you choose to skip or splurge. And if something's not going to add value to your wedding, do you really want to spend your hard-earned money on it? That's my question. If something's not going to add value to your wedding, do you really want to spend your hard-earned money on it? Number one, that's me. Crispy is so cool. I think so too, Wendy. I think he's really cool. He's way cooler than me. He's way cooler than me. It's okay. I think that I'm nerdy cool. I've never thought I was cool. I'm just like, meh. I'm weird and I love it. And Christopher loves it, so who cares? Just weird. Okay, wedding favors. That's what I wanted to talk about. I want you to ask yourself right now, and you tell me in the comments actually, with a number, okay? Ask yourself, how many wedding favors do you still have? You can't count your own, okay? Don't count your own, but how many wedding favors? Nah, you're chill, and then y'all are like Frozen the movie, so it's perfect. Aw, I love that. Christopher, that's the best comment ever. 3, okay. My thought process went everywhere with that, haha. Okay, so ask yourself, how many wedding favors do you still have? And so the truth is, at the end of the night, when I was a wedding, 3, 1, 0, yes. So the truth is, at the end of the night, when I was a wedding planner, I would find wedding favors that the couple spent hundreds of dollars on, scattered on the ground, left on tables, and in the trash can. And I thought, how rude! Throw the favor away at your own house. Don't throw it away here. But people would throw them away in the trash can. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so rude. So, what I wanted to say is oftentimes people don't really treasure the wedding favors like the couple wishes they were. The couple wishes they would. I'm sorry. Taylor, I'm very interested to hear. You said you had 3 wedding favors still that are not your own. Will you tell me what those 3 favors are so we can all learn what wedding favors people actually keep? And Ashley, tell me what the one wedding favor you have is, please. I'm interested to hear if they're a koozie, because I kept a koozie once because that was useful, but I don't think I have it anymore. It had like an anchor on it. It was nautical. I thought it was cute. Yeah, tell me in the comments what wedding favors you still have. So Taylor said, my sister-in-law, my brother, and my fiance's, Aunt Lori, and they are koozies. Okay, so people that you love and are close to in your family, koozies. So 3 koozies. Okay. Haha, yes it is. It's a koozie. Okay. So the only thing, a photo booth strip. Yes. Pictures I will keep. So I've never thought of a photo booth as a favor, but I've just thought of that as an extra vendor. But yes, that's a great point. That is a great point. And we have met before, but Pompey Portraits, can you tell me your name one more time? I'm pretty sure we met didn't we meet at the Jacksonville meeting a few weeks ago? I'm pretty positive we met as we were leaving, right? If you'll remind me of your name, I'm so sorry. So, okay, koozies. That's what we see. I do have photo booth strips. So to me, that's what I tell my clients. Angelica, right? I think it said really cool. I thought about doing that. Yes, I remember meeting you. So I like the photo booth strips, okay? To me, that's just like another vendor that goes along with photography, because you heard me talking about how Angelica. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm sorry if people mispronounce your name. I'm sorry about that. Like the Rugrats. Angelica, yes. So, again, I highly recommend all forms of photography. So if they're doing like little Polaroids at a wedding, I would totally keep that. If they're doing a photo strip, I would keep that, because I don't have that many of those. And I think those are still really cool and kind of vintagey to me, because they remind me of, like, I did some of those when I was a kid with my family, so I thought those were cool. We didn't do favors, mostly because I forgot, but Joe Photo made little photo card strips with varied engagement photos of ours with the link to our wedding album that guests could take. Oh, that's really neat. And what's cool about that, about charities, is that she didn't have to pay for that. That was just some marketing of her photographer. Again, really cool. And I bet some people saved those, because I save, if somebody sends me a really nice like engagement card with their photos on it, I'll save it. But typically if I get like a wedding invitation or an engagement with just words, I don't save that. But if it has pictures of my friends, I'll save that. I thought about doing beer bottle openers. And that might be something that people keep as well. I think items that are super useful people will keep. But again, if you are looking to save money on your wedding, and again, everybody's in a different place. Some people really aren't looking to save money. They're like, well, I have an unlimited budget. So if you have an unlimited budget, I say you do a fun wedding favor. If you're looking for a place to save money, I encourage you to save money on the wedding favor, because I want to say this, but people can be really horrible. So I want to say you won't hear people being like, there was no favor. People won't really notice. If people are saying that, they're not your real friends, and they're being ugly. So, you know. But I would say invest in your photographer, invest in the wedding cake, you know, invest in the things you're going to enjoy. But wedding favors, that's a place you can cut out. I would say. We did not do wedding favors. We did do sparklers. Again, I don't call that a favor. That was something they could use and participate in at the wedding with us, which was fun. And if you have any questions, like if your venue has really strict policies about what you can do for your exit and you have questions, feel free to DM me, send me a personal message about that, and I'll happily talk to you about it. But at the same time, I want to save and not do a crap ton of stuff. We are doing a donut wall. Could that be considered our wedding favor? Yes. I did a wedding once and they had donuts and cake, and the donut was their favor. And what they did, which was really cool, is on the little paper bags that you have, you know, for people to put their donuts in, it said something about it being the favor. It was like a cutesy thing that I'm sure you can look up on Pinterest, but it said something about take a donut home and enjoy it and think about us or something like that. It was way more elegant than those words that just came out of my mouth. But it like literally was like, this is the favor. So yeah, if you're doing a donut wall, girl, save yourself some time and headache. You don't need a favor. And we're doing glow sticks. Oh, that's fun. That counts as a favor too. Yeah, favors are like last on my list at any big event, like a quince or a sweet 16. Yeah, awesome outlook. I agree. It's the same thing. And I also want to speak to the mamas out there. Ashley, if you're still on here, and any other mamas out there with kids, don't feel like you have to do those gift bags, you know, at your kid's party either. I remember when we used to do that, and it was so cool. And for some kids, you know, if they think it's a really big deal, then maybe you have to. But I think some moms feel like they have to give a wedding favor, or they have to give like a party favor. They have to give gifts to the kids who come to their kid's birthday. And I'm like, Mama, no, you're okay. So if you're a mama, don't stress about that. You know, if you gave your kid a birthday party, that is a great gift. And you let those kids come to a birthday party, that's a great gift. Especially if you had a blow up machine or a swimming pool or something. That's a gift for a kid. They don't need a favor. And if you want to give them a favor, give them a sucker and be like, here you go. Buy a $2 bag of suckers and give them a sucker as they leave. And let their parents deal with that sticky mess they're going to find under their car seat later. It's fine. If they need a favor, right? I don't, LOL. They get thrown away instantly. Yes, I never understood the gift bags either, LOL. Ends up all in the trash. I remember some moms that would do them, and then I remember when I was a kid thinking that was kind of how you did it, and I was like, Mom, we have to make these little bags, and my mom did it because she was awesome, but it was like, that's ridiculous. No, I'm going to tell my kid, you don't need no favors. You're fine. You want to go Party City? Well, that can be your birthday. You want to give presents to other kids? Okay, well, that's your party. Goodness gracious. I don't even have these hypothetical children yet. Christopher's probably listening going, oh my gosh. I never did low power. I think it might have paused this. And the plastic or non-environmentally friendly things are bad for the world. Gotta love your heart, Wendy. And I hate getting them. It's filled with candy they don't need and cheap plastic toys. Yeah, that was always kind of a hard thing with me too. It was like filled with little things that were like cool to maybe play with in the car on the way home, but then it was like you had that toy at your house you'd rather play with. Or I always played teacher. You can ask Ashley and Abby. When I went home, I was ready to play teacher. And you can ask my little Pookie. I always made her read. I always played reading and math teacher. I don't know why I did that. But anyway, I wasn't playing with little plastic toys, okay? I was playing teacher. I'm telling y'all, I was cool, huh? I was not cool. But I'm okay with it. Okay, so here's another thing, y'all. And this is kind of getting over different stigmas, maybe? I don't know. Here's another way to save money. Cut the guest list. Cut the guest list. That is something that Christopher and I did. And while it was hard in the moment, and I do wish that I would have I wish I could have invited more people. I don't regret it at all. I don't regret that I cut the guest list. I said, I've seen a lot of moms have those shortbread cookies that match your theme for guests to take home. Edible and don't have to deal with it later. Ooh, I love a cookie. I would not turn away a cookie. I love those cookies that you're talking about. But they're really expensive. But I want to support the cookie makers because I want to eat it. But those cookies are really expensive when you buy a batch, actually. They're like a couple dollars a piece. LL saying I played teacher, doctor, and anchor woman. Oh my gosh. I totally played newswoman. And we got to like do that in middle school too. It was awesome. I wanted to be like a newswoman. These were things I wanted to be: a teacher, a newswoman, or the checkout person at Walmart. I still kind of want to be the checkout person at Walmart because I like how it's like tick, click, 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 beep, 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 beep. Not click. What am I doing? I like the beeping at Walmart where they get to push the button. And there was one store somewhere where they would hand you the clicker so you could click the things in your own buggy. I went there a lot because, I told Christopher that too. I was like, when he was asking like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I kind of still want to be the checker outer person at Walmart. I kind of still want to do that. If you didn't have to stand up so long. So when I'm old, I might not be the lady greeting you at Walmart. I'm going to be the checker outer person at Walmart. So I can use that beepy thing. The beeping is soothing to me. These are true facts. No +1. Yeah, Taylor, that is a great way to do it, to cut down. That is a great way to do it. Christopher and I actually had a big conversation about +1s because I said, for me, and it was kind of different for me because not all of them, but so several of my bridesmaids' husbands just didn't come to the wedding. And then several of my friends, my close friends, don't have significant others. So they're single and they're just single. So I was like, well, I wasn't going to give them a +1 because they don't have a significant other. So we had a conversation about that. And then I felt bad because one of my best friends is single and she was a bridesmaid, but I didn't give her a +1 because she wasn't going to bring anybody, so what I would say is don't feel obligated to give somebody a +1. So we kind of talked about it and we're like, if they're dating somebody or married, or engaged or whatever, then, give them a +1, but if they're single, you don't have to. That's how I did it on my side. Christopher did it a little bit differently. He gave a lot of +1s, which I was totally okay with because I ended up inviting kind of more people. So, yeah. Cutting the guest list, one way to do that is cut the +1s. When he said, OMG, the beep sounds like the electric wheelchair. OMG, I love your goals. It's like me wanting to be in the mariachi band. Wendy, if you were in a mariachi band, I would come watch you all the time. I don't know where mariachi bands play, but I would come. Would you wear those big sleeves? Because I would want that. Or whatever. Totally random. I love your shirt. Where is it from? Oh my gosh, thank you. It is from... Christopher loved it too. He actually... That's why I wore it today on the date night. I don't know where it's from. It's from a discount store in Knoxville. It was literally $4.99. And it was new for $4.99. I think it's a store... Ashley, you're still in Knoxville, right? I think it's called Gabe's, and it's in Cedar Bluff next to that Home Depot in that shopping center. Do you know what I'm talking about? Discovery Zone used to be over there, but it's in the Home Depot shopping center near the Dollar Theater. It's a store called Gabe's, Gabes. Yes, okay. Taylor, are you from Knoxville too? I'm sorry. We probably even know each other, and I can't see the pictures, so I don't know. Only close family and friends, married or engaged. I'll be playing the trumpet. Yes, Wendy. Yes, Gabe's. Yes, I am, and I love Gabe's. I want one. I love that. Yeah, we didn't know about Gabe's, and then a friend of ours started working there, and my mom and I had never been, and so we went in one day, and we were like, how have we never known about this store? This is awesome. And even if it's just for a night at someone's wedding, and I love a good singing voice, so I'll be a hoot to play mariachi band lady for the day. Wendy, please be a mariachi band lady. Yes, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's awesome. Taylor, is that yes, 100% we know each other, or you're in Knoxville? I live in Lenore City. I can't see her picture. I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed now. I can't see her picture. Help me plan my wedding and live in Knoxville. I will totally help you plan your wedding. Okay, I learned on the Ellen show, it's called Easter eggs. Taylor Swift does them, so I'm going to do them. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan. I just thought it was funny. Easter egg. Next week, not an Easter egg, because I'm going to tell you what it actually is. Next week's Instagram Live is going to be about some new services. Some new services that I'm offering. So, yeah, you'll want to come back next week, because next week's going to be really cool. That's all I'm going to say. And you all could benefit from it. So come back next week. Set your calendar, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time next week. Okay, so cut the guest list. Here's what I'm saying about that. I'm pretty sure Easter eggs are originally from Disney. Yeah, I would give Disney credit, Claire. I love Disney more than Taylor Swift, so I'm going to start saying Disney. There we go. Here's how you cut the guest list. I encourage you to invite people you love who have supported you and your partner. And here's what I have to say. Don't worry about inviting your second cousin who you haven't seen in 8 years and you don't talk to. Why would you invite someone you haven't seen in 8 years and don't talk to? And here's another thing that I told my family. I said, I'm not going to invite cousins and aunts and uncles that I can't name their children. If I don't know their children's names, I'm not going to invite them to our wedding. Because, again, they're clearly not investing in my life, and I'm clearly not invested in their life if I can't even name their kids. So there's another thing. Also, I've got 1 minute and 50 seconds. This one was so fun. I'm 21. My wedding is 2 years and 10 months away, and I'm OCD about perfection. Oh my gosh. Then no one would be at our wedding. Oh, so sad. Taylor, send me a private message and we'll talk more. Okay, y'all, about your flower budget. Be honest with yourselves and what you want. You can always choose cheaper flowers. And here's a little insider tip. You can ask your florist, are there any flowers like this that are in season that are cheaper? Okay, so for example, calla lilies can be $18 a stem. But if you get them maybe like at a different time of year, they might be cheaper. Peonies for sure are a certain price at a certain time of year, and they're easier to get another time of year. Okay, so I don't know if you knew that, but flowers vary in price. That's why you have to get such a detailed description from your florist. So go to the florist. Don't try to get an estimate online. It's not going to work. You can buy bulk flowers from Sam's and make generic centerpieces or aisleway pieces if you really, really need to save money. You can buy generic from Kroger, from Sam's, Food City. You can buy just a big thing of roses. If you want rose petals, you can buy a big thing of roses and tear off the petals yourself. Okay, buy decor with dual purpose. Don't DIY and make yourself crazy, but if you want to DIY, do it, but be realistic about your goals. I've got 22 seconds left. Y'all, thank you so much for being here. If you think this can help your friends, please share it. It's going to go up to YouTube in about 10 minutes, so follow me on YouTube at Stressless Weddings, and if you have any more questions, send me a private message, and I'll see you here next week at 8:30. Be kind to yourself because the world needs a whole lot more kindness.